Hey guys, welcome back to another Jurassic World live video, and today we finally got the tier list out. We were working on this on the weekend, and we got this out surprisingly quick, I'd say, in comparison to the last few tries. First I'd like to thank our team who helped with this tier list, which is we have Dwevel, got MM Brian, Rebecca, Triceratops, Logan, JHVS, and Jung Tan. Uh, it, it took a while, but it was probably our fastest tier list yet. Since an update, and also thanks to Legoman for helping out as well, and Orange Heart for these graphics. So, anyways, for those of you who don't know, at MetaHub, our tier list is the naming convention is a bit different. So the best ones are Apex, and then Alpha, Survivor, Specialist, Hatchling, and Carcass are the worst. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's start from Carcass. Carcass is mostly the same. Dracorex, Irritator, Sigmoloch Gen 2, Dracorex Gen 2, Irritator Gen 2, and Sigmoloch Gen 2. They're all still kind of bad, unfortunately. The only one that moved up is Suchomimus due to the swap and wound and its own wound attack. The DOTs obviously got overhaul. It's in most cases better. In some cases it's not as good, but in most cases it's got improvement. And moving on to Hatchling, we got our two new flyers, Quetzal and Hatchiopteryx. Hatchiopteryx just doesn't do anything at all, unfortunately. Like, what could it, like, it has impact and runs Purity Strike. What are you gonna do? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. That kit does not make any sense at all. You don't superiority with someone and then just run. That does nothing. And then Quetzal has a swap-in protection and also another long prot. Its damage is pretty bad and doesn't do anything else other than that. The shields actually don't stack, so you're not gonna get in a swap in protection 50% and then plus another 50% on the long protection, and it doesn't stack, still 50%. So there's Quetzal, nothing else really changed here either. And moving on to Specialist, we got Sungeripterus, I think that's how we call it, and Tupendactylus. These are the two new rare offensive flyers. They're okay, I guess. Gallimimus got that speed buff, 130. It now ties with Tantaclagrius for speed. It still got that evasive. There's a decent chance of dealing out like 4.1k damage without getting hurt, as same rate as Indominus, surviving through Cloak unharmed. So that's okay. Suchomimus, talked about that before. Monolometrodon. This is a very unfortunate case of a dinosaur. It has really good moves. It has great moves. It has one of the best movesets in the game, but unfortunately its stats just don't... The stats don't do it. The attack stat is way too low. Yeah, it's just very unfortunate. I think it's 119 speed, I could be wrong, but that's kind of okay. But anyways, if you don't have anything else to use, this is still a decent option, but there are quite a few dinos that are better than that, unfortunately. So, next we move on to Survivor. One dino I do want to point out that didn't change tiers is Sakurixes. It did get quite a bit of a change this patch. Some stats got buffed, got that new swap-in move, which is okay. It got its lockdown impact changed into lockdown strike along with an HP nerf, so unfortunately it looked really exciting at first, but it seems like it's a net negative for Sarcorixes, unfortunately. Pyroraptor got a decent buff. It now has wounding impact, and 129 speed is quite important in this meta, I guess. So it wasn't as horrible as it was before. Spinosaurus and Spino Gen 2, their new moves are great. The DOT overhaul helps them a lot. Stigmoloch, it got a buff from the instant charge thing, so now it can instant charge turn 2. So it wasn't as horrible as it was before. It didn't need to like use its basic attack twice in a row. And some new dinos, Pterandon's up here. Pterandon is a really, really effective Indominus killer. And it has that double ferocious. You could stack those two ferociouses, the swap-in ferocious and another ferocious that deals a lot of damage. It has null. It has shatter. I think it has run, and it's overall is a really decent standalone dino. Noda Powder Titan is unfortunate. I personally put it above Giga Spikesaur, not in terms of tier, but it's been better than Giga Spikesaur. But Bellow isn't the greatest move. Stats just don't really compete with the other the tanks, unfortunately, that are higher up in the list. So Triceratops got a decent buff. The instant charge thing helped it a lot. Majunda Suitcus has a really interesting change. It has Swap-in Ferocity, and you stack that with its normal Ferocious Strike. That's an 100% damage buff on turn 1. It did get a bit more frail, but if you like swap in on a cloak, you know they're gonna cloak. You swap this thing in, short defense and ferocious, that's gonna do massive amounts of damage. And the next one, Erlikosaurus. Erlikosaurus got a speed buff, if I remember correctly, and that really helps a lot. The swap mechanic helps, especially in lower tiers. And it still has Rampage. It's still a decent dino. It has Speed Up. It's still a good dino. And next, Alanka and Aramborgiania. I really have to look that one up. Pronunciation. These two are decent. They have swap-in invincibility. That's really good. In so many cases, it's just a really safe swap-in. And they're both really, they're the defensive flyers. The reason why Aramborgiania is above most of the other rare flyers is just mainly due to its swap-in invincibility. It's just, swap-in invincibility is one of the best swap moves at the moment, so that helps it a lot. And next we move to Alpha tier. This one, a few of them dropped, and a few of them gained a bit, I guess. Paramoloch, the instant charge thing helps. It now is the best stunner in the game if all you want to do is stun, I guess. Tanicolagrius, I believe didn't change, but just due to the meta right now, 129 speed is super prevalent, and Tanicolagrius has 130 speed, still has that null, 1.5k damage, base damage, armor piercing as the strike, so it's really good. Another one that was buffed up is Spinotraptor. Spinotraptor is basically the better version of 1.3 Utah Sinoraptor. So that's how Spinotraptor got there. It has more, it has lower base damage, but has more effective damage since it does have the Rampage instead of the one impact. Moving on, Tyrannosaurus unfortunately dropped. The damage nerf on it was way too extreme, so it really can't hold up there anymore. It's down to 1.1k, if I remember correctly, and that's really, really bad, unfortunately. So yeah, it's still good. It's still a good dino, but it was quite overpowered before for legendary, so I guess it's quite reasonable to drop it. Oh well. But anyway, I still think they went overboard with this nerf. Alright, anyways, next one, Tormalock. Tormalock received a huge damage nerf. I think that was the single most largest damage nerf in the history of the game. If I remember correctly, it went from 1.4k to like under 1k. That's even crazier than the Dilorano damage nerf, although Tormalock still has that counter, so it's not as bad as the Dilorano damage nerf, but it's just flat damage. It took quite the hit. Stegoceratops. This one, it was kind of iffy before, and now it just really just straight up just falls down. It got the speed nerf, which doesn't really matter actually. The speed nerf wasn't that bad. It's gonna slow on turn one anyways. The only matchups that really matter, I guess, are the Megalosukis matchups, the Yankentro matchups, Iniasukis matchups, those 115 dinos, and it did get a tiny bit of armor, but it had a huge HP nerf, which really sucks for it. So it just has a net negative outcome here, and most of the apexes were beating. I think if not all of the apexes were beating it before, and now it's just down and awful. It's still really good. It's still really good. It's easy to obtain, to level, etc. And remember, our tier list doesn't account for any of those. These are all calculated based on level 26 versus level 26. We don't account for availability, any of that. Most of these, we do admit, is head-to-head matchups. So, yeah, so that's that. Anyways, moving on to Apex, the new Lankylosaurus. A lot of people think it's not good. It's actually really good. It's basically Tragodistus with a swap-in invincibility without stun, but with a shield which Trago lacks. It does have long invincibility, but unlike the other tanks, it doesn't have a 50% shield, and Lankylosaurus has that option. Trago, I think, still does more damage output with the counter, but Lankylosaurus is just a more defensive Tragodistus, and obviously Tragodistus is still great. It's still on here, so why not put Lankylosaurus up here? And moving on, Allosaurus got a really good buff. It's one of the better defense shattering dinos in the meta right now. It got, obviously Defense Shattering Impact, Defense Shattering Strike 2, I believe, and the Instant Charge buff, which helps it a lot. It can now beat Magna Imperator. That's good for Alosino. You could just impact and then Instant Charge to the Magna Imperators, or Pyrator, I don't know. Low HP, that really hurts it. Dilorkyrus is their answer to nerfing Diloranosaurus. It's really good. It's probably one of the best dinos in the game at the moment. 129 speed is fantastic. This thing coming in and cleaning up it's great. The only drawback from it is it's slightly lower HP, but it does have distracting, so that isn't too much of an issue. And yeah, Erlodominus is another one. This one was really heavily debated during the tier list discussion. I guess it's good enough for Apex. It does some damage, but against tanks it just really struggles still. But against non-tanks, it really rips into dinos. It's high base damage as Rampage. Rampage you use on turn 1. You could Cloak and Rampage, you Cloak and Run. It has a lot of options. Minimal speed up is also great. So that's our Eldamus. Still has immune too, so it can't be slowed, etc. Debuffed. So yeah, it's a great dino. I can see that. It was good before, but yeah. Anyways, next one, Monomymus. Monomymus got some stat increases, and that helps it a lot. The only reason I'd see someone not using Monomymus is just the resources, I guess, but since we're not accounting for that in this tier list, Monomymus is a really decent dino. It has low HP, but it has distracting for that. It also has evasive, which helps it survive a bit. Null is great. Its speed is 129. That helps a lot against stuff like Indo. So that's that. Piratator was good before, but the counters kind of hurt it. But now it has 129 speed. That outspeeds the Indoraptors of the world, the 128 dinos, etc., and has a chance against the 129 dinos. It still has 2 rampages that you could use on turn 1 and turn 2. Ready to crush. You could use it strategically, for example, on a shield or something like that. So that's great. Utah Rhinox got a huge buff. Got, I believe it was 100-point increase in attack. Either 100 or 200. 100 sounds right to me. But yeah, it also got that instant charge buff. So it doesn't have to use basic attack on turn 2. It still has Distracting Rampage, which is a phenomenal move. Instant charge got buffed too, so that's decent. It also has a swap that helps a lot. And yeah, that's your Rhinox. Spondysukis got a decent buff. It's still 129 speed, got a damage buff, although that doesn't matter as much if you think about the DOT moves, but it really does help the critical impact, and that helps it win a lot of matchups. And it was good before, but a Superiority Strike was just so prevalent. But now that we have so many decent shield breakers and stuff like that, dinos that deal with Superiority Strike, dinos like Spondysukis and Puritator, they get more of a clear path to victory on their side now that you can have dinos to deal with Superiority Strikes, so you could get those out of the way first and then throw these out, and these do exceptionally well against non-Superiority Strike dinos. So anyways, that was it for the tier list. This time I said last time I'm going to break them down even more further. I might not do that this time around. Depends on what other stuff is coming, and at the moment I don't really know. But anyways, that's it for today. I got a new dino created that will be uploaded tomorrow, and that dino I have on my team, and I love it. It is such a great dino. I can't wait to show you guys that one. It's such a good dino. I love it. I absolutely love it. And also, if you guys haven't noticed, I changed my channel icon, and thanks to Double for creating that for me. It's nice. It's obviously it's Tyler Akiris, and it looks awesome. Double has one himself too with a green Magna. You could check it out if you catch him on Discord. That's his Discord profile pic, so that's really nice. But anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I'll link the tier list down below. And I think we are going to do write-ups on the tier list on MetaHub later, so if I don't do a video on it, you guys could always read up on them on MetaHub. We were supposed to do one last time, but we didn't have time because last time there's just so much stuff. 1.3 was such a huge update. We didn't really have time to do a lot of that, but we do have the time this time, and we have a lot of new great writers on the team, so they could always help with that too. But I'll see you guys tomorrow then.